call the Oglesby City Council meeting to order.
Here.
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 Here. Mr. Cullinan isn't here tonight because he's sick. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I need a motion and second to approve the minutes from the November 1st, 2021 regular meeting.
I'd like to make an amendment first. On page 1, under attendees, I was present. And then on the last page regarding the person who with the cats, the issue, we believe that she is in compliance, not in compliance. With those amendments, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 1, 2021 regular meeting.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. Public comments on agenda items only. Having none, we'll move on. Approve bills as presented for payment.
I will make a motion to approve bills as presented for payment.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. Approve 1176-111521, an ordinance amending and establishing compensation for employees of the Oglesby City Fire Department.
As we spoke about last time, the different changes that were in there was the increase of the fire chief to $500 per month, the firemen and women to $28.50 per call, and if the call were greater than 4 hours, it'd be additional call pay. In addition, there'll be 12 paid training days each year. Were there any comments or questions? If not, I'd like to make a motion to approve 1176-111521, an ordinance amending and establishing compensation for employees of the Oglesby City Fire Department.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. Place on file 1177-111521, an ordinance amending compensation for the employees of the city ambulance service. Being that there's two clauses that are left out on it, I'm going to recommend that we table it. There's no audit listed. Ambulance board, 7 members, 2 non-voting members, commissioner and 4 members. That would be recommended by the mayor and approved by the council. Non-voting members would be the ambulance director and the fire chief.
So you want to table this?
Table it.
All right. I will make a motion to table file 1177-111521, an ordinance amending compensation for employees of the Oglesby City Ambulance Service.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. This approval to obtain BHMG for engineering services for Malik Sub-Terminal Design.
So this was going to get approved at the last meeting, but it just kind of slipped the agenda. The meeting before that, it got placed on file. What this is for them to design up how we'd get the second connection in at the Malik Road substation. So the total engineering services came to $65,000. Any questions on that? With that, I'll make a motion for approval to obtain BHMG for engineering services for Malik Road subterminal design.
Second. Aye.
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 Aye. Approval to authorize the City of Oglesby to have Chamberlain Associates develop a plan to resolve the drainage issue at Heritage Garden. We've had a number of issues, complaints. I've got letters from the condo association. The last time we had the rain, there was an individual that had to run 3 sub pumps in order to keep her basement from being flooded. We got a problem. We got to look at how we can resolve the thing. And I think the time for finger pointing has to stop. Let's just take a look at what it'll take to resolve this issue, and I don't think it'll take much.
Yeah, I mean, I can easily support the idea that we can go look into it to see how much it's cost to resolve the issue, but even looking at the letter, one of the things I just have to make a comment on is, just quoting the letter, I've been told that over the years this has been a continuous issue which has been addressed and brought to the attention of previous public officials, yet nothing's been done. When I look, those houses were built in 1997. So I mean, I have to ask the question, you know, why did the previous administrations decide not to work with it? I understand it's a little bit of a civil dispute between there. I understand the city might have some responsibility. So I don't have an issue if we go ahead and authorize engineering services to find a solution. But when it comes to actually funding that solution and paying for it and who that's going to be, I think that is a broader topic that we need to have for discussion.
I agree.
Because I really don't want to get into the business of a resident has flooding in their yard and then it becomes a responsibility of the city to respond to that. That's my only
Do
concern.
we have any idea what they're gonna charge us for this, or is this an open checkbook kind of deal? Because, not saying Chambliss doesn't charge us a ton, but, you know, I'm
No,
just
they're
wondering
gonna,
if we
they're
have
gonna
kind of an
charge us,
estimate, or.
they're gonna charge us a price to look into it. But if you take a look, and there's a history with this. Before those houses were built, there was a drainage issue with the condos because the drainage comes east. And when we built McFedrin Lake, all that was supposed to be drained down into the lake and it was gonna resolve that. Apparently it did not. And then we come back and say that the contractors dug the hole too deep or didn't do the landscaping correctly. Well, then the city should have come in and taken a look at that. It's a problem. It's a problem we need to take a look at to get resolved. And you know, Chamberlain is gonna charge us their going rate, but that's the only way I know how to look at a fix for this situation.
Okay. Any other questions on that? I'll make a motion for the approval to authorize the city of Oglesby to have Chamberlain and Associates develop a plan to resolve the drainage issue in Heritage Gardens.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. Approval of the purchase of an updated hardware and software from NXIR to handle upgrades in the approximate amount of $43,000.
So, this is both the handheld and the actual device that they drive around in the trucks with to read meters. The reason it's so expensive is because they have 9 or 10 of these little machines all together, so they can read house by house and not have to go really, really slow through the neighborhoods, that kind of stuff. The old software is not being supported, neither are the handhelds, so we have to upgrade or we won't have any support. If it breaks down, we won't be able to read and then we'll have to go door to door, which time-wise is not a good solution,
Nor
so.
do you have the staff to do that.
No, we do not have the staff to do that as well. I think that's about it on that. This was the cheapest option as well, so. I will make a motion to approve to purchase updated hardware and software from Annixter for handheld upgrades in the approximate amount of $43,000.
I'll second.
Aye.
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 Aye. Next on the agenda is approval to switch healthcare providers for medical, dental, vision insurance in regards to the meeting held on 11/21 with past and present city employees and Soares and Associates. Laura Greimer is here. Basically, this is a heck of a good plan. It provides our employees, which I believe, better insurance at and it saves the city money. In going back, one of the things that Laura did is take a look at our healthcare cost over the last 5 years. Effectively, with this change, we're paying less now than we were 5 years ago.
Well, our coverage is a little bit different now too, but anyway. Yeah, no, I'm saying 5 years ago, we had a lower deductible, we had a lower
Yeah.
out-of-pocket and everything else, that's why our premiums were higher, so it's apples and oranges, but compared to last year, yeah, we're right on the same similar plan.
It's a better plan than it was last year.
Yeah.
We did get option one or option two, just so.
And we're switching to the
Option
new
two.
option.
Option two, United Healthcare.
Yeah.
Would you care to hear Laura go through this, or?
She can go for it.
Laura, do you want to come forward and give us the highs and lows of it? The good points? If you go to the podium, please.
I didn't, recap the actual deductibles and that of the plan over the course of the last changes. But the current, do you want me just to go over the current plan versus what the new plan is?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
The current plan with Humana is a $3,000 individual, $6,000 family plan with a 90% coinsurance in-network, 60% coinsurance out-of-network. The out-of-pocket maximum is a $5,000 for an individual, $10,000 for family, with a $35 physician copay, a $60 specialist copay, $100 for urgent care, and $350 for emergency room. Preventative care is covered at 100%, and then the drug card on the current plan is a 4-tier drug plan. It's $10 for generic, $4 for non-preferred, $40 for non-preferred generic, $70 for brand, and 25% for specialty drugs. The original increase from Humana was a 41% increase. We asked them immediately to go back because we knew there had been changes to the census. So we asked them to go back and rerun that renewal completely, which they agreed to do, and they took it down to 26.835. point, I sent it out to the open market to quote it with all carriers. The carrier that came back the cheapest was United Healthcare. I submitted those rates to Humana as competitive data. With that competitive data, they came down to 16.68%, but that was their final offer. They could not go any lower. So UHC was still at that point considerably cheaper. Plus the UHC plan is a better plan. It is a, the deductibles are the same, 3,000 for individual, 6,000 for family, but then it's 100% co-insurance, and 80% out of network. The out-of-pocket maximums are lower, 4,500 for individual, 9,000 for family. Physician copay goes down to 30. Specialist copay is a split copay. If it's a tier 1 designated provider, they pay 30. If it's a in-network provider that's not tier 1 designated, they pay 60. $75 for urgent care is lower. The ER copay goes down to 300. Preventative care again is covered at 100%. And the drug card is slightly better at $10, $35, and $60. At that, the estimated monthly total is $27,253, but we will be able to get that lowered an additional 2.5% by moving dental and vision also and pooling those coverages together. So that was why we wanted you guys to take a look at that, and we think it's a really good plan. We think it's good for the employees, and the ones that we spoke with seem pretty happy about it.
Thank you.
So we're looking at which one, option 1 or option 2 here?
Two.
2? And for the meeting that we had with the employees, was that a consensus with the employees that were present that they wanted
Yes.
to? Sounds good.
It's really our decision, but either way.
I need a motion and second.
I will make a motion of approval to switch healthcare providers for medical, dental, vision insurance in regards to the meeting held on 11/15/2021 with past and present city employees and Suarez and Associates.
I'll second.
Arborbank,
Aye.
Stein,
Aye.
Bianski,
Aye.
Rivera,
Aye. Next, discuss and approve the seal bid submitted for the demolition of the Reisner Building located at 238 East Walnut Street. They went out for bid. Kirsch Excavating of Spring Valley was the low bidder at $49,613. And this money will be paid out of a grant. The other bid was from John Pohar, and it was $71,150.
Do we have to place these on file, or can we do a direct approval? Because they were sealed bids.
I think you can do a direct approval.
Okay.
I will make a motion to approve sealed bid from Kirsch Excavating of Spring Valley, Illinois for the amount of $49,613 for the demolition of the Reisner Building located at 238 East Walnut Street.
Second.
Arborbank,
Aye.
Stein,
Aye.
Bianski,
Aye.
Rivera,
Aye. Next is discuss the request from the Oglesby Library for $10,000 for repairs to the building. They've got a problem with gutters and water getting in between the building and the bricks. There's a couple bids from Spellage, but they're looking at ways to keep the cost down. But they've asked for us to give them some help this year. Next year, the property taxes will be coming in to help them out. But this is a situation where they need some help before the water causes further damage to the building. And if we're gonna do it under the TIF, we gotta get it done before the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. I know in the past, there were some discussions about how the TIF works and takes away funding from them, and that's why I think a couple years ago, we did the thing where we did the computer project. So if we do a project like this now, because this is the last year that the TIF will be taking away funds from them, only question with it, do we have to do that via resolution, though? Because it'd be money paid from TIF?
I'm just trying to figure out what we're doing here first.
Yeah, you do.
I don't see it on the agenda version I
Yeah,
have,
because
though.
I don't get the drinking fountain and on-demand water heater.
That is not, so they're gonna pay for that separately, that's what I'm getting out of that, but. Is this for downspouts, this first one?
Yeah, well, it's for downspouts, and they got a problem with the water gets between the brick and the building and the steel on the inside.
Well, if I'm reading this correctly, sounds like they're putting in two new downspouts, one's getting turned, and it's $9,000.
Right.
And so I would ask to get multiple bids, personally, especially if we're paying for it.
Okay,
That'd be the only thing I could really,
so do you want to table it and ask them to
Get a couple
submit
more bids.
multiple bids?
yeah.
Well, because I think if it's TIF funds anyways, I think we have to do it via resolution.
And I think we're gonna have to have a number, solid number that you wanna do, and maybe it's just around $10,000, so that we can get that in the resolution, Jason. So you might wanna see the bids before you come up with a number,
Mm-hmm, yep.
is what I'm thinking.
Was this a newly added item? I don't see it. It's not on my agenda that I had from Friday.
Yeah,
It should
it's
have
on-
been.
That's what I picked up this week at Saturday.
Came too early.
Yeah,
Came too early.
It's not mine, Jason.
Yeah. And maybe an explanation, just so, because if I'm reading this correctly, which I'm not sure if I am, that's what I'm seeing, they're putting in two downspouts and they're turning one right to shoot it out onto the sidewalk farther or the driveway farther, so. If we get a little bit more info on what's going on, that'd be great.
And the second one, Tom, you should maybe look at that second paragraph, that talks about brick tuck pointing and,
Mhm.
Yeah,
which might be to address the water issue, I don't know.
Yeah,
it
Or
is.
damage from it.
I get that.
I'll entertain a motion to table it until we get some further information.
I will make a motion to table the request from the Oglesby Library for $10,000 for the repairs of the building.
Second,
Aye.
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 Aye. We've got a ton of work to do between now and the end of the year. And in order to get all this stuff done, we're gonna have to look at some working meetings. And I'm gonna suggest the, first one, we do on November 29th. And I don't care if you wanna make it earlier or later.
That would probably work.
That date actually works for me, so.
All right.
It's my son's second basketball game, so I mean, I can make it, but I'd prefer it to be a little bit later.
Which time would that be, Jason?
Well, normally we do a lot of working meetings at 6:30, but if we could do it at like 7 or something, that'd be
Okay.
great.
That's
7
I'm good with
o'clock?
7.
I think I can do that.
Okay.
1 PM on the 29th.
Anything under old business? Public comments? Commissioner reports.
I have nothing to report tonight.
If we're having a working meeting on the 29th, this is just a reminder that we made a commitment to have suggestions for the first chapters in our ordinance book for change and/or whatever. Yes. I really don't have much to report tonight. I did omit stating that Sergeant Brett Valley was the Officer of the Month for October 2021. So I'd like to congratulate Sergeant Brett Valley for his hard work and dedication.
Excellent. All right, just a couple things. Leaf Vac was scheduled to end this week, but what happens a lot of times is, leaves take a little longer to fall, and so what we're going to do is we're going to extend Leaf Vac through the week of the 29th. Chipping services will also start on the 22nd. If you've had some branch clippings out there, you might notice they have been going around and picking them up already. If they got room in the truck, they've been taking it without having to take the chipper out. And the last thing I got is, compared to previous years, I'd like to thank residents for putting their leaf piles on the berm. We haven't had any real issues of people putting it into the street or across sidewalks or anything like that, so really appreciate that. That's all I got.
It's up to me already. The city of Oglesby will sponsor a residential and business Christmas lighting contest this year. If anyone's interested in participating, they need to register with the city clerk's office by December 1st. Winners will receive a $200 rebate on their electric utility bills. Winners will be announced December 27th, 2021. The city's Christmas event will take place Saturday, December 18th, 2021, from 5 to 8 p.m. The theme will be from the movie Elf, featuring Will Ferrell. The event is being promoted as a drive-through event like last year. Due to safety concerns and the ongoing pandemic, this is our safest option for our residents. We have Nest thermostats are available if you are an Ameren electric or gas customer. You can go on the Ameren website and download a coupon for $100 for a Nest thermostat. They normally sell for $99. A rebate option of $99 is available, and there is a limit of one per customer to address that.
For address or for customer?
One per customer address. Address, not that. And we will, excuse me. We're gonna try again and see if we can't get the state of Illinois, the DNR, to live up to their commitment to meet with Oglesby and include us in the discussion of the development of the Westgate on the property that they bought from Bootsy. That's all I have. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming out tonight.